everyone, it's Nicole Wilkins with FitnessRx for Women, and this is my next question and answer segment where I took your questions from Facebook and I'm going to answer them for you tonight. The first question I have is, I have been reading a lot about pre and post-workout nutrition, and most recommendations are for a whey protein shake for fast protein absorption along with some carbs. However, I really prefer to eat food after my workout. Is this okay? And what foods would be best? Well, of course, I would prefer real food anytime over a supplement. If you are going to eat post-workout, definitely have some type of protein, whether it be obviously chicken, turkey, fish, egg whites or hard-boiled eggs, and a fast-digesting carbohydrate. So at that point you could have white rice, white potatoes, you could even have sweet potatoes, rice cakes, fruit. So you want something that is going to get into your system faster, and the protein because it's the building block of muscle. The next question I have is, I love running. I love long distances. However, I'm having problems adding weights to my routine. I find that lifting makes me so sore it hurts to run even several days later. How do I combine these workouts? Well, if you're a long distance runner and you're training super heavy, it's obviously soreness can last for a few days if you're breaking down that muscle, and running long distances also can break down that muscle tissue. So try maybe either lightening up your weight, or doing more circuit style training, like going from one exercise to another with higher repetitions, maybe lightening the weight a little bit. But some other things you can do as far as recovery goes is stretch. Make sure you are stretching a ton. And drink enough water, because you're working out and running long distances. Water is going to be incredibly important. If you're not taking yoga, if you're not a huge stretcher, yoga is something that I highly recommend for even people who just work out, because we don't stretch enough. Take an Epsom salt bath, because Epsom salt will help relieve the soreness sooner. And think about maybe taking a glutamine supplement. So glutamine or branched chain amino acid when you're training, and glutamine when you're done training. So branched chain amino acids during the workout, glutamine post-workout, and even before bed will help with the muscle recovery as well. So hopefully those things help. Maybe back down the weights a little bit if you really love to long distance run. But also know that even if you're sore, it's still okay to work through that soreness when you're doing cardio. The next question I have is, what type of wrist support is better, straps or gloves with support? Well, straps are something totally different. They're actually not meant to have to give your wrist support. They're meant to increase your grip. So if you're training and you feel like your grip is giving away, but you could still lift heavier, you just can't hang on to it, that's what straps are for. Gloves are for making it more comfortable to hang on to the bar, so you can keep your hands softer, so you don't have huge calluses like me. Some gloves do have a wrist wrap that goes around to give your wrist a little bit more support. So if you're lifting heavier, or if you're doing, sometimes push-ups hurt, just the pressure on the wrist, so it will give it a little bit of support. But you can also just get wrist guards. You can get wrist guards at like CVS. You can, they're at any athletic store. You can usually find them. I know we used them a lot. A lot of my teammates used them when I was in gymnastics from all the pounding, and so they're three different things. There's wrist guards, gloves, and there's straps. The next question is, what is more important when squatting? More weight getting pretty low, or less weight and going all the way down? And how low is low enough? I definitely recommend going all the way down with less weight. You don't want to put a ton of weight on and go a quarter of the way down, or not all the way, because you're not getting the full range of motion and the full benefit of the actual squat. I'm sure you've seen guys or girls at the gym racking the weight to see how much they can do, but they're not actually going all the way down. And to me, it's incredibly frustrating, because they're just basically showing off. But definitely lighten up the weight and make sure you're going all the way down. Now, I like to go a little bit below parallel, and why is because the lower you go, the more your glutes will come into play. So traditionally at a squat, parallel is sufficient, but if you go a little bit below parallel, you'll feel it a little bit more in the glutes. I am less than 2 weeks out from my first show and happen to have a physical recently with lab values drawn. My liver enzymes and bun levels are elevated from my high protein intake. Do you ever cleanse after a show or give your body a break from consistent high protein ratios in comparison with the other two macros? This is actually fairly common to have those enzymes elevated. So yes, definitely make sure that your protein intake isn't too high. So for females, I recommend 1 gram per pound. And decreasing that back and making sure you have enough carbohydrates and fats in your diet is also going to help with that. But with the intense training that you're doing, you're breaking down your muscle tissue and your body is constantly trying to catch up because you're working so hard. So it's important to have that off season so you back down a little bit on the intensity of your workouts, increase your calories a little bit, and hopefully those levels will get back to normal. I've never actually done a cleanse. I don't know if I could do it, and I don't really know enough about it. There's tons of them out there, but making sure that your protein intake isn't too high because it definitely is tough on the liver to break all that down. And the last question I have is, my usual pre-workout meal is oatmeal, egg whites, and a half an apple. Is this okay? And I've heard that you shouldn't eat healthy fats after a workout because it slows down the absorption of protein. But is it okay to have something like almond butter before a workout? Before a workout, your meal that you mentioned was totally fine. Egg whites for protein, and then you have your oatmeal and banana. The oatmeal has a lot of fiber, it's slow digesting, it'll keep you sustained throughout your workout. If you are going to have fats, I recommend them pre-workout because they take a lot longer to digest, so you'll have sustained energy throughout your training. Post-workout, you want faster absorbing foods, so faster absorbing carbohydrates. And yes, the fats do slow down the absorption, so you would want those before. So that's kind of how that works. So pre-protein, carbs, and maybe a little fats. Post-protein and fast-absorbing carbs. So that's all I've got for you this week. Keep asking your questions on Facebook every week, and I'll be back every Friday to answer them for you. Until next time, keep living the fit life.